Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm batting cleanup here. I would like to express my appreciation for Mr. Holder for sticking with us so long. I've got a big stack of questions, so if you could keep your answers as short as possible, I would appreciate it. And I think we've covered a lot about the IRS and your investigation in that. I think Judge Poe did a really good job. I'm appalled by what happened. I was appalled when the Nixon administration did it. I'm appalled when it's happening under this administration. I'm a little concerned you said you'd marked Mr. Poe down as not a fan of government. I hope he has his taxes in order. On the DOJ website, y'all say the department has demonstrated its historic commitment to transparency. And upon taking office, President Obama directed the DOJ with a clear presumption in the face of doubt, openness prevails. And on March 19th, you said you call for a greater government transparency in a new era of open government. Yet we had to resort to contempt of Congress. You, I think, called Chairman Issa shameless. I'd like to offer you the opportunity to just give us the stuff we're asking for and be consistent with that transparency. Would you please just do it and make it easier for all of us?
We have been in good faith negotiations. We went through mediation that the House Republicans, as I remember, did not want to do. We have tried to find ways in which we could share the requested information.
We need the information and we want to protect it. But I do have a lot of questions, so I'm going to go on. Let's move on to the Justice Department's action with respect to the Associated Press. Do you think the massive intrusion of freedom of the press could cause an intimidating and chilling effect on whistleblowers and confidential sources? And what do you think of today's New York Times editorial that says these tactics will not scare us or the AP? But they could reveal sources and frighten confidential contacts vital to the coverage of government.
Again, I'll answer the question, but separate and apart from the ongoing investigation. The Justice Department does not want to have its actions chill sources, have a negative impact on the news gathering abilities of newspapers, television stations.
You're with me. It offends you as an American that we're targeting the media in such a broad fashion. Would that be a fair statement?
Well, I'm not going to, again, comment on an investigation that I'm
okay, if let's, in a hypothetical situation, we're going to go after and subpoena hundreds of phone records for journalists. I mean, just does that offend you as an American?
It would depend on the facts.
Okay.
Exactly. You'd have to know what the facts were and why the action was being taken by the government.
So you stated earlier that you recused yourself from this because you were questioned about this investigation. So as part of that investigation, are you aware if any of your telephones were tapped or telephone records were subpoenaed? I mean, you were subject to that investigation as well.
There were, yes, some of my telephone records were examined.
Okay, and other administrations as well. So you did go, I guess my question is, it seems to me the media ought to be the last resort. Did they subpoena them or you voluntarily turn them over, the phone records?
You know, I'm not even sure I remember. I think I probably voluntarily turned them over. I voluntarily turned them over.
All right, well, there's a difference obviously then between subpoena and all. All right, and let's go to Benghazi for a second. Gregory Hicks, the former chief of mission in Libya, testified before the government oversight and reform committees that as a result of the appearance of Susan Rice on various talk shows, that the FBI, the president of Libya was offended and delayed the FBI's access to the consulate in Benghazi by 17 days. Do you think this would have a negative effect on the FBI's investigation and ability to get to the bottom of what happened in Benghazi?
Well, I'm satisfied with the progress that we have made in the investigation. Regardless of what happened previously, we have made very, very, very substantial progress in that investigation.
But not having access to an unsecured crime scene for 17 days, that's bound to have had a negative impact.
It has not had a negative impact on this investigation.
All right. There was a story today that Media Matters issued defense of the Justice Department's use of these subpoenas for telephones. Are y'all regularly still consulting with Media Matters for spinning your PR stories? We talked about that in the Oversight and Government Reform hearing last year.
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
All right. And then finally, I see I'm out of time. I don't want to break the rules, so thank you very much.
Mr.